PowerBoat Television is brought to you by Yamaha, revs your heart. Ford F-Series, smart, tough, capable. And Cruisers Yachts, manufacturing world-class boats.
I'm Drew McMillan and welcome to PowerBoat Television. Now this week I'm setting off on my first big feature trip for the show, so I want everything to go absolutely perfect.
Of course, diehard fans of the show will no doubt remember me from my cameo back in our 2012 season. Check out that stash.
But now I'm wearing the big boy pants. I got a new shirt, fast shades, and most importantly, Yamaha hooked me up with a fully loaded AR195 sport boat and sent me out for some riverboat cruising on the Grand River.
Starting out as barely a trickle near the town of Dundalk, the Grand River winds for almost 300 kilometers or 180 miles before it flows into Lake Erie at Port Maitland. Bellwood's the first boatable section on the river, so it's the first stop on my Grand River tour. Loaded up in a beauty F-150 Limited from Ford, I headed to the Bellwood Lake Conservation Area to splash the boat. Maybe not such a hidden gem to the locals, the Grand is an awesome boating destination just outside the big city that might get overlooked next to the Great Lakes and Muskoka. Some parts are way too shallow, even for our jet drive, but Bellwood Lake, just north of Guelph, is a great spot to see if we can put the sport in sport boat. I met up with my friend Andrew. He's been boating and fishing these waters all his life, and he knows the lake as well as anyone. The transom of our sport boat was the perfect spot to cast a line.
And what's fishing on Bellwood Lake like?
The fishing's been pretty good lately for walleye. So that's more normally what we come out here to target, and bass fishing's really good too. And the cool part about the Grand River here is we got brown trout fishing starting right below the Shan Dam. Pretty unique to this part of the river, and we get guys coming from all over the world to fish for the browns here.
You're kidding?
Yeah, that's the big drawing point of this area.
How often do you come back empty-handed?
Not often. You get the odd night where you come up short, but you put enough time out here, you're bound to find something.
You're bound to have something take a bite?
Yeah. Are you kidding?
Lost another one?
Yeah.
So what's the deal with the pike that
They're just really toothy.
Oh, okay. Could be a worse day to be out here, though, I guess.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, that's a pretty good sized guy.
Yeah, he came up on the last cast, too.
There you go. You said you never come empty-handed, right?
Yep, not often. Nice little bass.
Attaboy.
Get that guy back.
All right, Andrew, well, I appreciate you bringing us out here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Spots. You had a little more luck than I did.
Yeah, we got one little bass and snapped off by a couple pikes, so it's not bad for a short time.
And I almost caught a dinghy.
There you go.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Anyway,
thanks for having me.
Much obliged. Now that we're back at the dock, we're ready to take a look at all the features in this new 2019 AR195 from Yamaha.
For starters, there's a portside bench instead of a second captain's chair, which is nice as it creates an open concept layout.
This brand new deck design was also built with space in mind, specifically taking out the chair behind this rotating captain seat, which opens up some J-shaped seating and leaves room for a table and cooler, both of which come standard with the boat.
Also standard are the forward sweeping tower with integrated bimini top, snap-in marine carpet. In terms of storage, this boat has plenty, 1,598 liters to be exact, including an in-floor wet storage locker ideal for skis, portside storage, glove box and starboard side storage complete with a garbage can. At the helm, there's a Clarion Marine radio with USB and auxiliary inputs, 12-volt accessory port, an LCD gauge cluster, articulating cell phone holder, and control of the no-wake mode and cruise assist.
One of the biggest changes with the AR195 for 2019 is that Yamaha has made it 3 inches longer and 2 inches wider, which may not seem like a lot, but it really does add a lot of space, especially up here in the bow where they've carried the beam almost all the way forward, making it nice and roomy for all your friends up front.
Powering the AR195 is the tried, tested, and true 1.8-liter SVHO engine.
Because of the internal propulsion jet drive system, there's no bulky engine hatch, and Yamaha took that space and put it into this awesome swim platform, which is 2-tiered, which is great for, putting on a wakeboard or just lounging in the sun if you're swimming, which is also made easier with a swim ladder hidden in the transom.
I figured this calm water was too good to squander. And plus, what good is having a boat like this if you've got no one to share it with on a day like today? So I called in a first mate, one of my best friends, Ryan.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Dude, I have a sweet boat from Yamaha. It is a gorgeous day out here on Bellwood Lake. Can you make it out?
I can do that.
Can you get here in an hour?
I can do that.
Can you bring your skis?
I can do that.
Hey, cameraman, you can spot, right? All right, I'll see you when you get here.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Bellwood is a reservoir on the Grand River formed by the Shan Dam in 1942. It's 12 kilometers long and just 2 kilometers across at its widest point. So that means that even on the windiest days, there's always a calm shore for skiing. Today, wind wasn't even a thought to us, so we made sure to take full advantage. And I was excited to see how the AR195 would perform with the skier in tow.
All right, you ready?
Born ready.
How about you give me your shades?
That's a good idea. Here, I'll trade you. All right, hit me.
The jet drive felt like an inboard pulling him out of the water, and even as he's cutting back and forth, it still feels rock solid, like I'm going in a straight path, not getting yanked around by the skier at all.
Well, at least the boat was solid.
Hey!
You see how much air I got? I got like 50 feet.
So a little bit of trouble getting up on one, but other than that, how'd it feel?
It felt good. I think we'll get that one next time. The lake here is beautiful. Boat felt great in it. Overall, just a solid day.
After a great day on Bellwood Lake, we loaded up our F-150, pulled out, and headed south towards the town of Cayuga. Later in the show, we check out more of this incredible river.
This is the brand new 2020 Yamaha G3 Elite 326 SL. This is the brand new 2020 Yamaha G3 Elite 326 SL. And if you're wondering what SL stands for, it stands for Stern Lounge. And that is an all-new feature for Yamaha G3 pontoon boats. The 326 we had last year had a 300 on the back, and we know it hauled the mail. Let's see what she can do with a 250 VMAX SHO. Well, right off the bat, out of the hole, I would say there's not much difference between the 250 VMAX and the 300 we had on the one last year. Let's see what we get up on top. 45 miles an hour with a 250 VMAX SHO. Not bad. We're on Simcoe today. It's blowing about 25 to 30K from the north, and we're encountering 2 to 2.5 foot waves. But this boat feels like it's in 6-inch chop. It's unbelievable. Everything you see, except for the forward bimini, is standard equipment on this boat. So they really do come very well equipped right from the factory.
Slowing down for a moment, we take a close look at some of these standard features. There is a small platform at the bow. The fence is pushed forward to maximize interior space. The stainless forward gate is heavy-duty and utilizes a lift and lock hinge, which helps keep the deck nice and clear. Well-appointed forward lounges in two-tone desert sand upholstery with high-contrast diamond stitching are both modern and comfortable. Fully molded bases with rain drains provide dry storage by helping prevent any water on the deck from soaking your gear. The privacy enclosure is also standard equipment on the Elite.
Now, one nice thing about the G3s is their center lockers have gas struts. And if you get the third log, you do get a ton of storage. Check this out. It goes all the way back. So, plenty of room for skis and water sports gear. But I do really like the gas struts. You're not having to hold it open.
The big news is the stern lounge, which is both functional and versatile.
Now, this isn't the first stern lounge system on a pontoon boat, but it is the first for Yamaha's G3 series. And I really do like the layout. It's wide open and spacious, and it's really easy to use. So the first pivot to face aft, you got a great spot to watch the sun go down. But one more click away, and now it completely opens up into a lounger. Even with such a wide lounger, there's still plenty of room to move forward and aft on this G3. And something that they added that I really like is this little side bench. Not only does it have storage underneath, but it's a great spot to have more people sit and enjoy the conversation. The Yamaha G3 Elite boats really are a premium boat, and you can tell by the material and the heavy-duty nature of this stainless steel gate. I really like the fact that it only opens to the inside. But one thing you have to appreciate is the attention to detail with Yamaha. In the deck are two flanges that hold the gate and secure it in place, whether it's open or closed. And I really like that because the gate's not flapping around when it's open.
The aft platform, where most of the action will be, is plenty big. There's room to walk past the engine cutout with a 4-step stainless reboarding ladder and ski tow, both standard. These Suncatcher stern lounge models provide exactly the kind of versatility needed in a 26-foot pontoon boat. The raised helm is nice and wide with easy-to-read gauges. A Simrad Go 7 chart plotter with downscan sonar, also standard equipment, is a lot easier to read than a smartphone or tablet in direct sunlight. Bluetooth stereo controls left of the wheel are easy to reach, while a small compartment to starboard has auxiliary USB ports.
With such a big console, you do get plenty of storage underneath. In fact, this is where we find the table. But again, with Yamaha, the little details are so important. Here, we find a pressure switch that operates an LED light inside the console. How cool is that? I absolutely love these helm chairs. 2 armrests, very comfortable, tilts and slides, and just for me, in the perfect position. Once you've driven a pontoon boat with power steering, you'd be really hard-pressed to get one without it ever again. It'd be like not having power steering in your truck.
When it comes to the F-150 line, the limited model is the cream of the crop.
For many boaters, trailering can be an intimidating experience, but Ford seems to be trying its best to take all the anxiety out of that process. Today's tow test, the F-150 Limited, is packed to the brim with features to make sure you can get to and from the launch ramp in comfort and style.
When it comes to the F-150 line, the limited model is the cream of the crop. It's rated to tow up to 11,100 pounds with a max payload of 1,530 pounds. Our boat and trailer combo weighs in at about 4,000 pounds. And it all starts under the hood with the most important towing feature. In 2019, Ford beefed up the power in its limited model, packing in its high-output 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 engine. Its 450 horsepower and twin turbochargers will give you plenty of power to keep up with traffic on the highway.
On the ramp, though, it's all about torque. And that's where this 3.5-liter EcoBoost high-output V6 can give us 510 pounds-feet at just 3,500 RPMs. When we compare that to the 5-liter V8, it's more than 110 pounds-feet more at 1,000 fewer RPMs.
And that'll get you up and out of the water like it's nothing. And any other effort from towing was gone thanks to the tech included in our test model's trailer tow package. Trailer sway control, trailer brake control, extended blind spot information, and hill start assist give you control and confidence. Tow haul mode improves your power and efficiency with a heavy load, and dynamic hitch assist and 360-degree camera systems give you all the assurance and ability to hook up and launch all by yourself. But the real star is Ford's incredible Pro Trailer Backup Assist system. It takes just a few minutes to set up and get used to, but once you've got it going, it makes even the tightest launch ramp as easy as turning a knob. Left to go left, right to go right, and just let go to straighten out. Just like that. All the stress of the launch ramp, gone.
Now, turbos generally aren't known for their fuel economy, especially when towing, but I've been pretty impressed driving around this F-150 Limited for the last 2 or 3 days. We've put almost 400 kilometers on it, and we're averaging about 18 liters per 100 kilometers. Just a little more than what the company actually lists at about 17 liters per 100 kilometers.
That's a little over 13 miles per gallon, and most of that was with a 19-foot boat in tow. When we left the load behind, that jumped to about 19 miles per gallon, mostly highway driving. And its 36-gallon tank should get you plenty of travel distance between fill-ups, which is a good thing. This truck is so ridiculously comfy inside. The Super Crew cab has plenty of room for the whole family with stylish wood trim and stitched leather dash. The seats are a high-grade stitched leather, and the front ones have heaters, air conditioning, and even massagers. Apple CarPlay will keep everyone entertained, and the Bang & Olufsen sound system absolutely rocks. The rear seats fold up for extra storage to go with a nice big bed with a convenient rolling cover and a spray-on liner, which means no worries about tossing just about anything back there with no damage. At its price, the F-150 Limited may be a bit of a hit to the bank account, but the features and performance more than make up. If you have the means, it's worth it to check this truck out.
Since wake surfing emerged in the mid-2000s, just about every runabout boat manufacturer has created their own unique features to shape the wake for surfing. In Yamaha's case, they've created a complete surf package that includes a slingshot surfboard, tow rope, carry bag, and the Yamaha Wake Enhancer.
Well, starting this actually has 3 ballast tanks. So along with that, we've actually adjusted the angle of the nozzles. So it does actually change the shape and the inside face of the wake to make it better for wake surfing. Here in Canada, we're actually calling it the Wake Enhancer. So basically what it does is scoops water from along the outside edge of the boat and brings it in towards the center, towards the keel of the boat, and it cleans up that frontal face of the wave, making a nice clean wave for wake surfing.
Installation takes less than a minute, and there are versions for 19, 21, and 24-foot Yamaha sport boats going back as far as 2015.
The nice thing about it too is depending on the surfer, it can actually be switched from port to starboard side.
Want to add some surfing to your Yamaha sport boat? Contact your local dealer today and pick up the surf package.
The run from Dunnville to Lake Erie is just 5 nautical miles, but it had to have been my favorite stretch of our trip. The Grand River gets pretty shallow and quick at points, which makes it a great place for a float or a paddle, but not accessible by most powerboats. We were told, though, that the stretches south of Brantford are some of the best boating around, and we'd hate to squander our time with this AR195. So we headed down to splash the boat in Cayuga to continue my first trip with PowerBoat TV. If you ask me, it's tough to beat a Yamaha sport boat as a riverboat cruiser. The jet drive lets you access shallower water, there's plenty of storage space to bring all the gear you need, and they're super fuel efficient. We got about 3 miles per gallon on our trip, and we did the whole thing on less than a full tank. The run from Cayuga to Dunnville is about 15 miles, or 25 kilometers. Nothing for our sport boat, which cruises best around 30 miles per hour. We actually had to remember to slow down at points to soak in the unique scenery. Along the way, we stopped in to say hi to Dan McKay, a longtime Dunnville boater and a real ambassador for the river.
Dan, thanks a lot for coming out here, being our de facto river guide here.
Glad to have you. I'm always happy to brag about the Grand River.
There is a lot to brag about. So can you tell me, why do you live here?
I haven't really seen any place that can compare to this. Most rivers are really shallow and not conducive for power boating, where this one, because there's a dam in Dunnville, it brings the water level up so you can do boating. William Merritt came over here and built the Welland Canal to bring boats from Lake Ontario to Lake Erie and then access the upper Great Lakes. He didn't have enough water to run the lock, so he built a dam in Dunnville to give him enough headwater. And they built a canal from Dunnville to Welland to feed that water. Along came one of his compatriots, Colonel Thompson, who built the Grand River Navigation Company, and he basically built a whole series of canals and locks all the way up the river through Cambridge and Kitchener. And remember, this was before trains and roads. They pulled horse-drawn barges upriver and floated them back down with produce on them. And it really settled the whole interior of Ontario. It's one of the world's best trout fisheries in the north end, in the cold water fishery up in the Dundalk area.
We were up there at Bellwood Lake.
Yeah,
yesterday.
and down here it's a warm water fishery, so it's the most diverse fishery in all of Canada. And just about every species of freshwater fish are in this river system.
You mentioned a particular stretch that you thought is the best boating on the river.
If you love water skiing and water sports, the best spot is this area between Cayuga and Dunnville. It's calm, there's lots of water, there's like 15 feet of water in the middle. There's bends and turns in the river, so even on a windy day, you can always find a spot where it's calm.
And Dan would know. He's one of the earliest members of the Dunnville Water Ski Club back in the 1970s, and he's been skiing here ever since. As an avid water skier myself, though, I wasn't just going to take his word for it. Plus, I wanted to see what it was like to go for a rip behind the AR195. The wake had a bit of a bump at slalom speed, but overall I was pretty impressed with how stable it was from the skier's perspective. Solid enough that I got my confidence up to try something I haven't done in a couple of years. And then I guess I got a little too confident.
And that, Ryan, is both how it's done and not done. Let's go. Okay.
After the free face wash, we continued on our way to Dunnville, where we hit a bit of an obstacle, the Dunnville Dam. So we zipped back up to Cayuga, pulled the boat out, and trailered it down to the Dunnville Boat Club. It's a small club right in the middle of town, with a ramp where anyone can launch for a small fee. The run from Dunnville to Lake Erie is just 5 nautical miles, but it had to have been my favorite stretch of our trip. The bottom of the Grand winds around the Bing Island Conservation Area, past windmills and wetlands before it spits out into the Great Lake at Port Maitland. From here you could go east to Port Colborne or west to Long Point, but this was good enough for us. We had reached open water, and we got the selfie to prove it. And with the day coming to an end, we had just enough time to soak in a Lake Erie sunset on the spit.
Well, appreciate you coming out and helping me nail my very first PowerBoat TV segment.
I appreciate you taking me out of the office and getting me away from work.
You know what? For that, you're welcome. Only one thing left to do now, my man.
What's that?
You know it.